Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rania Garnawi. Thank you so much for attending our first Showcase TED event. We will start our event with a musical performance. Please make some noise to our talented Ryan Hamrawi, who will sing Someone Like You by Adele.
I heard that you're settled down, that you found a girl and you're married now. I heard that your dreams came true. Guess she gave you things I didn't give to you. Oh, it rained. Why are you so shy? And like you were hold back or hide from the light. I had to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away. I couldn't fight it. I'd hope to see my face, and that you'll be reminding that for me it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said sometimes it lasts to love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Sorry.
Hello everyone, I'm Ayas Nahaji, and to say that I'm thrilled to be here today is an understatement. I am very happy and excited to introduce him. He is kind, passionate, and he loves his job. And he's truly such an inspiration to all of us. Without him, we would not have this amazing opportunity. And without him, I would not be standing here today in front of such a beautiful crowd. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Hossam Souhaili.
Thank you, Ayo. Well, that was a little bit, I don't know what to say. Dear students, thank you for attending. I know I'm not supposed to talk today. This is made by you, for you, right? But in a few minutes, I'm going to try and blend in with the audience, right? I'm going to try to hide my presence, and I'm going to try to be a spectator and watch you blossom into the amazing TED speakers you're supposed to be and that you are meant to be in the future, right? First and foremost, thank you very much for the awe-inspiring amount of time and effort you spent preparing our first showcase event. It is indeed an informal event, I know, but still, you guys did your best. And I know we still didn't even kick off the event, but I can say that it's already a success, positive, right? And so it's not a TEDx. We didn't need to ask for the TED team's permission. We don't need a license for this. They're expecting us to do as many showcase events as possible, and we're expecting them to organize as many virtual exchanges as possible, just like the one you had yesterday, which you enjoyed, I think. Yes. Without further ado, I will let the presenters take care of the rest of the event. We will shift towards the internal aspects of the event, and I want you to fasten your seatbelts, and I want you to pay attention. We will take you on a journey. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Yasmin.
And my name is Ryan, and we are both from TED Club and Elaraki's International School.
We sincerely hope all of you guys are doing well and are excited for today.
And we are so excited to be here tonight and to have the opportunity to introduce our guest speaker that we were all looking forward to meet.
I suppose everyone here knows who our guest is. However, this introduction is pretty essential. And honestly, I genuinely wish I could get to present this beautiful and wonderful person every single day of my life.
She is a soon-to-be architect and an inspiring globetrotter a writer, a speaker, and a video creator. She had goals since the very beginning, and she worked hard to get them and achieve them.
One of the things on her bucket list is to travel the world, experience the unknown, learn about new cultures, and meet new people. Also, gain a better understanding of the world we live in. Magical, isn't it?
Passion, dedication, resolution, devotion, commitment. You name it, she has it. Was it her ideas, her inspirations, her empowering speeches? Everything she does got us astonished.
Are we being too long? After this introduction, I am certain that all of you guys here cannot wait to meet her and hear her story.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are ready to greet our wonderful guest. Now, give a big round of applause to this unique woman, Sofia Labiad.
Thank you for welcoming me in here. Well, as you saw in my video, I love traveling. It's just a fact. I do love traveling. I've loved traveling since forever, since I was a kid. I grew up really dreaming about the world. I grew up dreaming to see the outside world. I really wanted to discover every culture out there. I really wanted to see the difference of humans outside. I saw different things on National Geographic, and I wanted to be there. The world holds so many things that we don't know about. And I was one of the people who wanted to take the step to actually see it by myself. But like, when I was growing up, everybody told me that you cannot do that. It's so expensive to travel. It's so scary to travel. It's really dangerous to travel. You can't do it by yourself. Everybody made their efforts, their best, so they can stop me from this mischievous idea. They did their best so they can stop me from stepping outside of my comfort zone because they were scared. They wanted me to be scared. But one day, I had the opportunity, and I did go to one country, and I went alone to the Alps. And that experience just changed everything about my existence. My goal was to see one country. I just wanted to get out of my country and just see something else, something different, something I wouldn't really call home. But then, I got greedy. I said, I want to do 10 countries. It's an even number, it's a beautiful number, I want to do 10 countries, that's it. The more I started traveling, the more I fell in love with the world. The more I discovered that it's pretty out there. It's not as dangerous as we think. I mean, it is a little bit dangerous, but it is worth it. I mean, I was caught in borders. I was denied from access to a country. I was denied of access to an airplane. I was stuck for 5 hours in the borders of Serbia. I thought that it was the end for me. I'm not going to travel again because it's hard to travel alone. It's hard to go to countries that nobody goes to. But is it worth it? Is it that worth it to take all of those risks to travel? 100%. Traveling changed my life from 0 to 100. It changed my vision about the world from not knowing a thing about the outside world to wanting to see all of it. But how did I start traveling? How did I get myself to do the first step? That's the question. I was scared, just like everybody else. I was stopped from everybody else. Everybody told me, don't go to Albania. That's dangerous. There is mafia out there. They're the most friendly people ever. How did people come to get the idea that they're dangerous? So the more I started traveling, the more I wanted to see more. After a country, another, till I got to the number. Today I've been to 29 countries. It sounds like a lot. It's really not. 29 countries is a very small number compared to the big number of countries, that's almost 200 countries around the world. And I am planning to go to every single one of them. It's a big dream, I know. No Moroccan person have ever done it before, and I want to be one of the firsts who will ever be able to make it. But what did I learn from like traveling or moving or getting out of my comfort zone? What did I learn from that? I learned so many things. Most importantly, 3. I learned that I'm a strong person. We're all strong, but we don't know that. We always think that we're weak. We always hide in our bubbles. We always stay in our corners because it's comfortable. but I learned to get out of my comfort zone and actually be there. Second thing, I learned my limits. I discovered my limits. I didn't know that I was able to fight for my rights. I didn't know that I was able that if a police person will come across me and ask me for identification, I wouldn't be scared. I didn't know that. It sounds very simple. It sounds so easy. But I didn't know I was able to do that because I was told my whole life that that's very scary. Police is very scary. They're not. I didn't know that I would be able to hitchhike in a country that I don't know about. Just from a city to another with no money. I didn't know that I was able to figure out different ways to go to different places with no money almost, with the very cheap amount of money that I have. So those are two things I learned, but the one most important thing I learned is that diversity is a strength. Most of the time we see diversity and difference as something bad. Like if someone disagrees with you, you don't like them. You say, oh, you disagree with me, you're a bad person. They're not. We think that when someone doesn't share the same idea as us, they're just wrong. We don't know how to separate between an idea and a person. The more I travel, the more I saw different places, different countries, different types of humans, either the humans from the countries that I've been to or the humans that come from other countries to visit. So I would meet travelers from around the globe. The more I met people, the more I discovered, oh, we're actually the same, but we're just different. We have different cultures, different mentalities, different ways of seeing the world, different religions, different races, different genders, sexualities, whatever. We're just very different. But it really doesn't matter. I just discovered that it really doesn't matter how much different we are, how much diverse the world can be, and how much strong we can be when we're together. I learned that one thing matters, is that the person in front of me is a human. I stopped seeing that human can be different. I stopped seeing what society taught me. Society taught me that if that person is different, that's wrong, that's strange. You gotta be scared of that person. But the more I met people, the more I discovered that it's awesome to be different. It's cool that I can learn something new from someone. It's really interesting to just meet someone and talk about, I don't know, movies. But then you discover, oh, you actually like the same movies, but you're from different religions, you're from different ethnicities, you're everything different. You grew up from two sides of the globe. But you're points. You both have the same dreams, you both are the same age, you both want the same things in life, you both want peace. And the more I discovered people, the more I discovered that we're the same, the more I wanted to tell the world. I wanted to tell everybody else, like, hey, I know that we're different, but I want you to stop seeing that. I want you to see how awesome we can be when we're together. I mean, I'm looking at this place and I see different flags of different countries like Pakistan, Vietnam, all of that. Doesn't it make you want to go and see all of those countries? Like, don't you want to go to Japan and like see how awesome their culture is? Don't you want to go and discover that difference? The key word is difference. We're always scared of it, but it's what makes us better. It's what makes us unique. So 2-3 years ago, around this time, I started a project on the internet, spoken word poetry. I started it. It was an experiment that I wanted to do. It was something new. No Moroccan can ever have done it in English with the way I did it and ever. And I was talking about social justice. Because the more I met humans that are different, I felt less judgmental. I don't want to judge others anymore. I see what's inside of them. I don't look at them. I look through them. I look at their hearts. I look at what they can bring in the world. And I wanted to tell everybody about that. I wanted to tell the world. I wanted to tell the internet, like, hey, we're the same. I wanted to use my outspoken way and spoken word poetry to talk about the fact that that society is one when we're together. So I used social justice. What is social justice? Social justice, sorry, is a way of getting to society all the justice that they need, like equality, stopping discrimination, talking about all subjects like racism, feminism, homophobia, whatever. And I wanted to use my voice, my privilege, my strength to fight for the things that are right. If somebody is getting less rights than the rest of the world, I want to use my voice, I want to use my privilege and talk about them. I want to talk about different races. I want to talk about deaf people. I want to use sign language. I wanted to just use all my strength and power to give everybody a voice and give everybody a value. Because we can have different values, but if we all root and fight for the same cause, we can win. So spoken poetry was a thing, but the question is, how did I happen to find my passion for spoken poetry? How did I change from traveling, twisting, to spoken word poetry? It's just two different things, right? That's wrong. They're the same. Traveling is something that I loved and enjoyed doing. And what I learned from it, I was using it in something that I wanted to make as a career at the beginning, which is spoken word poetry, which is making videos on the internet. Passion. Passion is a big word, and everybody is worried about it. Everybody's worried what their passion is, what they're going to be doing the next 10 years. You're like 14, 15 years old. Why put so much pressure on yourself and think that you gotta find your passion right now? Why do you think that you need to know what you will be in the next 10 years? You can ask anybody around you. You can ask your parents, you can ask your teachers, you can ask any grown-up person and ask them, hey, what's your passion? They don't know. They're grown-ups, but they don't know what their passion is. They just don't know. How do you expect yourself at this age to know your passion and put so much pressure on you? You think you don't have talent? You think you're good at nothing? That's completely wrong. When I was your age, I didn't know what I was going to do later, but I knew that I loved traveling. So I did it. I knew that I loved talking. So I started the spoken word poetry project. I knew that I loved sports, and I did that. So what's the key word in here? What do you think is the correct way for you to find your passion? How can you make your career or your future based on things you actually love? There is only one solution for it, is by trying new things. It's by doing different things. You gotta try to do all the sports out there. Go do arts, I don't know, music, drawing. You don't know if you wanna be a movie director or a doctor. You don't know about that. But to know about it, you gotta try both. You gotta be interested in everything. You gotta put yourself in the middle of something and get yourself out of it. And little by little, you'll just know what you love. The most important thing in life is not money or success. It's being happy. Being happy doing things you actually enjoy. I enjoy traveling, so I do it. And I made it as a dream that I will travel to every country in the world. I don't know if I will reach that dream, but it's what I want, and I'll work for it. I'm a soon-to-be architect. I'll be an architect in maybe a year or less. I'm working on my thesis. And when I tell people that I do architecture, their impression is, wow, that's pretty interesting, that's cool, that's everybody's dream. But I didn't want to be an architect. Surprise, right? I didn't want to be an architect at the beginning. When I was accepted in the architectural school, I didn't even know what was architecture. What is architecture? Why would I want to do that? No, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a traveler. I want to be this. I want to be that. Anything but architecture. And my parents, they said, no, it's a good job, but it's not what I love. So how did I learn how to love architecture when it's something I really used to hate? I only wanted to travel the world. I only wanted to talk just in front of everybody else and do spoken word poetry. I didn't like architecture, but I learned to love it. And I learned one life lesson. You can separate between your passion and your career. You want to be an artist, you want to draw. Not every artist can be a painter. You want to draw? You can draw and work with the police department. They need people who draw. That's possible. We don't need to follow a pattern. I don't need to be an architect that works with a firm. I don't need to build houses. There is so much more I can do about it. And then I just discovered climax, that I can combine all three together. I can travel and fight for social justice, fight for people's rights who don't have a right, and use architecture that I've been studying for 6 years now to do things that I love and that I enjoy. I can build for places in the world that need help. And that was like the ultimate dream for me. And it's something that will make me happy, will make everybody happy, and will make me realize my dream of becoming the human that I've always wanted to be since I was a child. The moral of the story, don't wait until you're 70 or 50 so you can do things that you love. Don't listen to your parents or to your teachers when they tell you, oh, you can work now, and later on you can play. Work hard, play hard. As much as you work, as much as you get to play and have fun. And you can combine everything together. You can combine your passions, the love for the things that you actually enjoy, and your career, and you can make money out of it. Do what you love, care about yourself, love yourself, and just enjoy life and stop pressuring yourself. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sofia. That was truly inspiring and amazing. Now, I have the pleasure to introduce Sami Aitofqir, who will show us his talent and creativity through the impressive art of beatbox. Please make some noise to Sami Aitofqir.
Now I'm gonna take all of you way back into time. Such a lonely place. I don't know the jump, yeah. I'm always afraid of something. That's why I say, don't look up to me. Now, I know that all of you are thirsty for some bass, so let's get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sami. That was really amazing. Just pure talent. Now, I'm going to have the pleasure to introduce our amazing musicians, Ryan Hamraoui and Shahd Zieti, who will perform True Colors by Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick. Please give them a warm welcome.
It's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all. The darkness inside you got me so small. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show true colors, true colors, true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Thank you.
Now, three amazing and brilliant interviewers are going to ask our very special guest some questions in order to get to know her more.
Please give a warm welcome to Kenza Ghannan, Mariam Bouriel, and Aya Qundah.
We are very pleased today to welcome you, and it's a big pleasure. So we're here to ask you a couple of questions. We'd like you to answer them. First of all, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself, your age, your siblings, and a little resume about your life.
Well, the pleasure is mine. Thank you for inviting me, though. Well, my name is Sofia. I am 23 years old. I study architecture in the National School of Architecture here in Marrakesh. I have many passions. I really like playing basketball. I really like doing sports. And I really like traveling, too, and talking about my dreams.
So in your speech, you talked about spoken word poetry. I would like to ask you, what is spoken word poetry and why are you so passionate about it?
Spoken word poetry is an art, is a way of being an outspoken person, using your voice and using poetry, using words to express a social problem in general. It's an art that was created in the Western world and became a little bit famous under the name of slam poetry, spoken word poetry. And it's not very famous among, well, here in Morocco, it's not that famous. It's not famous in general among the MENA region. So what was your second question?
What made you so passionate about it?
Why am I so passionate about it? It's because it was a tool. It was a tool for me to voice my opinions. I wanted to talk. I wanted to tell the world about myself. I wanted to talk about social justice and use my privilege for others. And it was a tool for me to express myself. That's how I became really passionate about it.
That's really good and really respectable that you use such an influential platform to talk about stuff that matters. And we really look up to you and respect you for that.
Thank you. First of all, thank you again for coming here. We really appreciate that. We loved your speech earlier. It was really inspiring and amazing. So you've actually visited 29 countries. So what was your favorite trip and what made it so special?
Well, I did visit 29 countries by myself. It's an almost 30, and I cannot choose a favorite country because every country had a different impact on me. Every country was just different and special. I met different people in everyone. I had different experiences, either good or bad. I would learn from them. In general, I would say like a top 3 would be like I liked Malta. Malta, almost nobody knows that Malta is a country, and it's a very, very small country under Italy, like between Italy and Algeria. It's so amazing, it's so pretty, the people are different, they have a different language, and the vibe of the country, of the island, is very different from everything that I've ever saw. I also loved Albania. Albania was a country that everybody told me don't go there, and I went and I loved it, and people are very friendly. Georgia was also different for me. Georgia is a country in, well, Western Asia, if I can say that, and that's also a country that gave a big impact on me, actually. So,
Thank you. That was really amazing, especially like the fact that you can manage between both studies and traveling the world and following your heart. And you really inspired us today and showed us that we need to follow our heart no matter the circumstances. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can always follow your heart, and like I said in my speech, you gotta work hard, play hard, which means like you have to enjoy what you're doing. You gotta study, you gotta listen to your teachers and just do things that they tell you to do because it's the best thing. But in the same time, you gotta do what you want. You gotta follow your heart and stand up for your opinions and stand up for your choices and just be the person you actually want to be, not what others want you to be.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, you talked about people, your environment, telling you to not do it, not travel. So here's my question to you. How do you convince not only your parents, but everyone around you to let you do your thing and travel?
Like I said, when I wanted to travel, I wanted to go only to one country. I was dreaming just to get out of Morocco, to get out of my comfort zone. So the first time I went outside by myself, I went to the Alps for an internship, kind of. So I made my way little by little. Second time I traveled, I went to one city. And a little bit more, I would go outside, I would come back, and then my parents will say, oh, nothing bad happened to you. So it's not as dangerous as it could be. It's all about the first step. And convincing your parents, it's all about making them trust you, because your parents are worried about you. It's normal. That's a job of a parent. So they are scared, so they transmit the fear to you. So you have to convince them and explain to them that it's not that dangerous out there. So try to be first mature, don't do stupid things, be good at your studies, be a strong, independent person, like when they see you in the house, and then little by little, they just build trust, and they will trust you. And for me, when I wanted to go and travel elsewhere, they told me no. But then when I went first time and second time and third time, they were more relieved because I was okay, because nothing bad ever happened to me. And I would tell them stories, like I'm telling you. I would tell them, oh, you know, this happened here. I would send them pictures, videos, and they'd be happy about it. And now they want to travel with me too, so it's just a big influence.
That's really cool. I have a couple things to learn from that. I wish I could convince my parents to do that. I'm going to try, though.
Okay, so as a teenager, I might say that I'm pretty much afraid about my future, since I don't really know what to do and I don't really know my passion. So what advice could you possibly give to people who feel like me?
I'll tell you that everybody will be scared at the beginning. I was scared, and when I was your age, I was not even half as good in English. When I was your age, when I was 15, I was not a strong person at the beginning. But the advice I will say is put yourself out there. Do things that make you scared. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't just put yourself in a box and expect the world to come to you. Try things that actually make you scared. Put a list of things that maybe one day you want to achieve, a bucket list, and start doing just small steps, baby steps. One step at a time, one step at a time, and without even notice it, you can be a better human in the next 10 years.
So I think it's really interesting to ask people, like grown-up people and adults like you. So as teenagers, we feel a little bit comfortable about it. Thank you.
So how long have you been doing this? Like, when did you decide to when you say to yourself, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go and discover the world, meet new people as a solo traveler, which is really hard, and like that's amazing. You're inspiring again. So like, when was your first trip? Like, when did you decide to do that?
Well, compared to many other travelers, many people have started in a really young age. Like I said before, I was not able to do it. It's either society, parents, I was just scared. And one day I've had this opportunity to go to the Alps in between like France and Italy in the region there. And I went there for an internship. And that was my first exposure of traveling by myself. The second time, it was like at the age of 20, which is very late for most of people. Like most people really start really young. And at the age of 20, I was like, okay, this is the first time I'm gonna travel by my actual self, and I went to Spain alone, and I've been to some villages and stuff. And then one day, I've had this big opportunity to live abroad. I lived in Madrid, in Spain. In 1 year, I did like 27 countries, like 1 year. I did like the most of the countries that I could ever see. Well, others, I've seen them more than once. But in 1 year, I tried to go to the maximum places I could go, and so it's more about opportunity. I was given an opportunity, and I searched for it. And I did step outside of my comfort zone, and I grabbed it, and I did the most out of it. So everybody does.
And like, you actually met new people from different cultures, which is like kind of hard, because like we don't have the same cultures, thoughts, and everything. And you were alone in like a different country from yours. So how did you manage to like just talk with them and like adapt?
I would say the key word is acceptance. You just have to accept that they're different. If somebody tells you I'm Buddhist, you don't say, how come? That's not cool. No, you just accept it. You discover who they are. You learn on the internet or outside, or you ask them adequate questions. You don't try not to be offensive, and you just like destroy the barrier that you have between them. You become more accepting. You don't judge them because they should not judge you back. So it's all about the conversation. And at the end of the day, you just discover you're all the same. You maybe are in different religions, maybe you have different cultures, you grew up in different parts of the globe, but at the end of the day, you like the same music. At the end of the day, you have the same dreams, and you try to find those common points, and you just don't judge them. You accept them, and you respect. That's the most important thing. You just respect them, and they respect you back, and then they become friends. And some of them actually are one of my best friends, actually. So every time I would go abroad, I would just go and visit them, and they would visit me back, and it's really awesome.
That's really cool. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, earlier we were sitting together, and my friends and I had this real question. It's really itching me. How do you manage to study? How do you manage to study and travel? And also, how do you manage to travel without having a job? I'm talking economically and stuff like that.
First of all, you asked about how do I manage to do both. Mm-hmm. You can find time for everything. If you have time to binge watch a Netflix show, you can find time to do anything on the side. I can use that time to search for a flight that's cheap. I can use that time to search for a new destination. I can just put myself in a situation where I will put my passion first, where I will put my dreams first. We always have time, but we just screw it for things that we don't need. Like we all have a 2-month summer vacation. Most of us don't use that summer vacation. We just stay at home, we just sleep until midday, which is not very productive. But on my side, I try to do new things. I would go here in Morocco to different parts of the country, or just plan it ahead. You asked about the money. It might be a surprise, but traveling is not that expensive. There is 2 types of travelers, the backpackers and the people who go to hotels. You can choose to go to a 5-star hotel. It's cool, it's cozy. But I can also choose to stay at a hostel with 10 people in the same room. I can also choose to stay the night in the airport. I can also choose to spend the night in the borders, which is very scary. But it's still cool, it's enjoyable. It's a different experience, and that's why I travel for. I don't travel for luxury. I travel to go see the different spots of the world and just enjoy it. So that's it. You don't need that much money. You just need to be good at saving and find the cheap flights. That's it.
That's really good, really cool. Thank you.
Okay, so now I would like to talk to the 15-year-old version of you, the 15 little Sofia. Is she proud of you? Is she satisfied? Is it really the life she's been dreaming of?
When I was 15, like I said, I was half as good as you, either in English, either in self-confidence. I used to be scared and intimidated of everybody. But it's normal because society around me told me that you have to be scared, that everything is scary. Parents, friends, everybody, family, everybody was scaring me from everything. If I was 15 again, I would be extremely proud of who I am today. I'm really thankful of the person that I became. But all of this is hard work. I work really hard for my career, and I work really hard to become who I am. I work on my self-love, self-development. I read books. I try to meet people that will teach me new things. And at the end of the day, we're all the same. It's just that some of us choose to put a step ahead and fight for their dreams, and some of us choose to sleep till midday. It's just a choice to make.
It's really genius of you to think that way. And I think we all should be mature enough to have the same results. So thank you for answering. It was a pleasure today to ask you these questions.
The pleasure is
So we've gotten to know you better today, and you're a risk taker. So you travel the world, do whatever you want, and you're going to discover the world in the future for sure. Discover new countries and everything. So what is your wish? What do you wish for? What is your goals?
Right now?
Yes.
I wish that the borders can be open so I can travel. But it's a joke. But if I had one wish to choose for my life, I would say I wish that everybody can be treated the same. I'm all about social justice. I want everybody to feel the same freedom and to have the same privileges as everybody else. I wish that we can be treated the same because, after all, we're the same. We just look differently, and that's my biggest wish for the world.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I will maybe have been to 80 countries, I would say, by the time. I will be working either with an international non-profit organization or the United Nations. I will be living my dream. I'll be an architect who builds buildings for people in different parts of the world who need it, and I wish that can happen. I will work hard for it, but I really wish it can happen.
We all hope you'll achieve that.
Thank you.
We're all ladies here. We're all 4 ladies. And as a 15-year-old, I feel like the world around us is changing. It is getting better, but maybe girls are still not as respected to their worth as they should be. So to you, what is the biggest problem girls of this generation have to face?
Women have been facing problems since forever, since the beginning of times. It have always been, sexism have always been a thing, misogyny have always been a thing. But nowadays, it's better than before. I mean, it might sound wrong, but it is better than 10 years ago. My generation is better than my mom's generation. My mom's generation is better than my grandma's generation, and it's going. So we're evolving, which is good. More people now talk about feminism than before. More people talk about gender equality than before, which is good. But the challenge that we might be facing is the fact that women don't encourage each other's. Some women really hate upon each other's. And I think to evolve, we gotta be there for each other's. We have to make some women empowerment. We have to empower each other's and just lift each other's up. Because if you make it, or you make it, or you make it, I will make it too. I will pave the path for you, just like many have started before me. They paved the path for me, and I'll do it for the people behind me, and you'll do it for the younger siblings. And that's how we're going to become a better world.
That's very respectable, and I very much agree with you.
So thank you. That was all. Thank you for answering our questions.
The pleasure is mine.
It was lovely. Thank you.
thanks to our interviewers that did an amazing job. And thank you, Sofia, for answering those answers and for sharing your amazing experience with us. It's just inspiring.
Now we will move on to the students' speeches. So please welcome the talented and one of the best public speakers, Wisal Hshadi.
So, what does Harry Potter, Superman, Naruto, and Odysseus from the Greek epics all have in common? Think about it for a while. If we take a look closely, we will notice that all of them are heroes. Heroes of their own world, protagonists on whom the whole story revolves, and people who are especially exceptional or in a pursuit of an exceptional goal. And since these people are remarkable of no normal kind, their stories will surely follow the same fate. It's the journey of the hero. And so comes the hero, James Campbell, a man who studied every myth in the world and grouped them in a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. This book will showcase to us the modern myth or the hero's journey. Think of it as a cycle. Status quo, here we begin. 1 o'clock, culture and adventure. Our hero receives a message, an invitation, a challenge he set on fire. 2 o'clock, assistance. The hero needs some sort of help from someone perhaps smarter, wiser, older. He's ready. 3 o'clock, departure. The call to the real adventure. The hero leaves his normal, ordinary world, the boring one, perhaps his school life, and gets into this special world. 4 o'clock, trials. Being hero is no easy task. It's difficult. The hero fights for his moral reasons. Surely he will get beaten up here and there, but he will never give up. 5 o'clock, approach. It's the real deal. The final boss is here. 6 o'clock, crisis. All hope seems to be lost. The hero faces a symbolic death. Perhaps he even dies. But he will get revived and reborn for 7 o'clock treasure. And now, since the hero put so much effort, of course he will get that treasure. He will get perhaps recognition and money, who knows. 8 o'clock, return, and even results. So now it's dependent on the story. How does it flow? Does the boss get revived and we get to see a second round? Or it's just a matter of escape? And so it's really variable. 9 o'clock. We return to the normal world, but this time it's not boring because 10 o'clock, new life. Nothing's gonna be the same with all those experiences, don't you think so? And so we get to 11 o'clock, resolution. All the tangled plot lines get straightened out. Status quo, 12 o'clock, the hero got upgraded to a new level. Nothing, and really nothing the same anymore. And so, to your shock now, I've never really found heroes interesting. I think too often they're constrained by the fact that they should be surrogate and live up to some false moral just of a person. And well, it can make for characters that are bland and predictable, but occasionally I'll come across a hero who makes me question everything I question a hero to be. Because this is not to be forgotten, heroes exist in real life. In our daily lives, perhaps even you are one. Because, come on, you are the main character. You are the protagonist of your life. You can be the hero, yes, I mean it, into the quest of a sports match, an upcoming test, love, or a speech that you're about to present.
We are sorry, it appears that Aya Verkush is not here, so it's up to the next speaker, Malak Khulal, please.
Hello, everyone. Well, welcome to my TED Talk. First of all, I want to thank you for being here and for listening to me. I want to talk today about a topic that always crosses my mind when I want to sleep, and I start thinking about it till the morning. What is perfection? And why our parents always want us to be perfect? Well, Perfection is freedom from fault or defects. It is flawlessness. Perfection is an unsurpassable degree of accuracy or excellence. Well, and that is impossible, because no one was or is or will ever be perfect. So our parents won't ask us the impossible. Well, what I want to tell you now, that I want you to stop chasing perfection and make mistakes. Make mistakes to learn from it. Well, when we were young, we were curious about how does it feel when we put our hand on fire. Well, from that moment, we've never put it again because it's burned. So we'll learn the lesson from it. And I realized that for the past years, I was chasing perfection. All I wanted is to be perfect in life, in school, at home, in everything. Letting my life passing by without enjoying it, without even being myself. Well, then I realized that I should live my life. I should enjoy myself, enjoy my life. I should enjoy my life because and I realized also that however, love is closely related to perfection. You are wondering why, right? Well, your parents love you the most, no doubt about this. And they want to raise you, they want to do their best to raise you perfect. No doubt about this either. But the difference is the way that they perceive as well as they can is different from your perception. Because the same way you cannot expect them to raise you perfect, they cannot expect you to be perfect either. They just hope that you can do your best and you success your life. Well, it is simply because they want the best for you and they love you the most. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is now here. Let's re-welcome her, Aya Berkouch.
Have you ever blamed your body? Oh, that dress looks so cute, but I would never wear it. My knees would look chubby. Or even, I so would want to wear those cute crop tops I always see on Pinterest, but my big fat belly rolls could never. See, the thing is, body image is often associated to us teenage girls, when in fact, it might also affect men, boys, and women. See, I have a lot of guy friends who would go to the gym every now and then just to have a six-pack and a very big and strong torso because they think it might make them more of a man. And I know so many girls who would hold themselves back from eating that last part of pizza because they might put on 10 pounds and they might gain bigger love handles. I remember myself younger when I would look in the mirror and hate what I saw. Why are my thighs always sticking to each other? Why don't I have a thigh gap? And look at all these pimples. As weird as this might sound, I used to hate my freckles. Now, I think you would understand why, because God, I wanted to be just like these girls from commercials, and God, I wanted my skin to be as soft and as clear. Now, I think it was pretty normal to feel this way, because other than the fact that I was 9 years old and probably very immature, I grew up watching Disney movies starring princesses with practically immaculate hourglass-shaped bodies. And each and every one of my Barbies had big blue eyes and perfectly straight hair and thin and very long legs. And I think it really made me really insecure because even the TV shows and the movies I used to watch with my parents and even all alone, they were always about that skinny and pretty girl. And they were never about the fat ones. And even if the fat ones were to be in the script, they were always to be mocked or or made fun of, sometimes even subconsciously. Now, as a little girl, all I wanted to be was appreciated. So it was either being funny or being skinny and pretty. And since I kind of didn't have the facilities to be funny, and I still don't, I decided to be skinny, but at least skinnier. So I made the worst decision of my life, and I decided that I should only drink gallons of water a day to always feel full, and I only ate 1 meal a day. You know, my guts really thought this would work, only to realize it physically and mentally made it worse. It's not until I reached junior high school that I started to ask myself, should I really even care? I remember sitting in class and overhearing boys behind me talking about some kind of model, and I heard one of them saying, if my wife or my girlfriend doesn't look that way, I would never be happy and I would never be satisfied. I remember getting so mad, I started to ask myself, is this how it's supposed to be? Is this really how we should look like? Girls with 0 flaws? Is life so unfair that our success and happiness should depend on our attractiveness? Now, I started to realize that social media was either curated, filtered, or airbrushed illusions. I started to realize that the more I loved myself and the more I was proud of myself, the more I attracted people to love me and to cherish me the way I was. I realized that the most important relationship we have in our lives is the one we have with ourselves. And it is so dreadful that we have never been taught about it. Now, I challenge you to think about how it would be if we were taught about how to use self-care in improving our lives. How it would help our lives make us happier, and it probably help us combat our insecurities and struggles and enable us to reach our full potential. Now, I please invite you all to stand up. Stand up, get up. And I want you to have a look at your body. We're gonna start from the bottom. So I want you to look at your legs. And I really want you to think, wow, these are really beautiful legs I have. I love these legs because they have taken me to places I had dreamed to go to. They have helped me dance whenever I was feeling happy, and they have helped me curl up into a ball whenever I was feeling sad. I want you to rub your belly because without it, you probably wouldn't be enjoying the tastiness of ice creams, burgers, or pizzas. I want you to look at your hands, and I want you to be thankful for those hands. Because without them, you should say to yourself, look how many tears they have erased, and look how much weight they have lifted. I want you to have a look at your whole body, and I want you not only to say, I love my body out loud, I want you to feel it deep inside of your core. I want you to know that you should embrace your qualities and blemishes because they make you you. I want you to know that the world doesn't need fuller lips from you, or a more structured nose from you, or bigger breasts from you, or pecs from you, or abs from you. The world needs your voice. The world needs your thoughts, your ideas, your passion. The world needs who you really are. Thank you.
That was amazing, Aya. Thank you so much. Now we will pass to one of our talented and creative public speaker. Here's Sami Aytofkher. Make some noise for him.
So I think that video games are really awesome. Now I know that some of you don't think like me and think that video games are 100% negative and downright bad for you. And you know what? I'm not gonna change your mind. I'm not here for that. So there is not 1 week that goes without some major headlines in the media talking whether video games are good or bad, right? Is that right? Well, if I tell you that we all assume that the more time we spend in front of a screen, the more our vision deteriorates. Now, that is absolutely wrong.
except for the people that plays 10 to 15 hours per day. That is absolutely, like, you will destroy your eyes, not just deteriorate. Now, our research proved that regular people that don't play games, non-gamers, have from corrective to normal vision. Now, let me tell you that gamers or that play video games from 10 to 15 hours per week have better vision than the non-gamers individuals, and that is true. Now, we all say that games lead to attention problems and great distractibility. Let me tell you that gamers can be better than normal people and solve conflicts faster than irregular people. Well, and in fact, gamers can also have better advantages at many other sides of attention. For example, tracking objects like all the adults does when driving a car. You need to keep track of the dog passing, the pedestrians, all the bicycles, all the other cars. Now, gamers have a span from 6 to 7 objects to track at once, but non-gamer individuals can just track from 2 to 4. That is true, because when playing a shooter game, you need to know who are your allies and your enemies, and then shoot the enemies the fastest possible, so you always gotta be attentive. Now, if I tell you that I was a captain of a ship, no, a spaceship, the spaceship that saved the humanity from a gigantic asteroid, you would tell me that is impossible, that is wrong. But yet I was the Captain Shepherd. I was a pirate sailing in the seas of Caribbean. I led an entire nation. I fought with heroes. I was a hero. In books, in stories, you're just a spectator to whom we tell a story, but in games, you are the story. Now, if you ask someone, what is a typical gamer, they would answer male, maybe a little of a loner, socially awkward, maybe a little of overweight, doesn't get out too much. Well, clearly, half of all people that play games are women, so they're clearly not all men. What about the fact that games makes you tear us from people, makes us alone, all that? Let me tell you that new generation games are only, some of them are based only on multiplayer games. So you need to connect with people, have fun with them, joke with them, treat you like you're a friend, you're a part of family. And from that point, two individuals, because of long distance relationship, got from not being that good of a friend to totally best friends. And that's why I think video games are really damn awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Sami. Now, we will move on to Dua Nasiri, who will talk about her passion and how important to have a grid. Please welcome Dua Nasiri.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be here. Wednesday, the 18th November, our teacher asked us a question. What is your passion? I didn't know what to say. I was perplexed and started stuttering. Just a show of hands, how many of you guys felt the same way? That's when I realized I was missing something in my life. I was like a car with no wheels. I felt very peculiar. At this moment, I made a resolution. I need to find my passion. I have to devote all my time to it. Passion is a powerful feeling. It is important as it impacts us positively and brings great meaning to our lives. Having a passion helps us feel fulfilled. It also builds confidence and resilience. So I have tried everything to find my passion, everywhere possible in this world. But unfortunately, I couldn't find my real passion, something that would make my heart beat fast. One day, it happened that I was on my phone when I found an article talking about passion. The title was written in capital letters, and it says, the key to your passion. In a nutshell, it was talking about grit and how it is and how it is important in our daily life. Grit means sticking with your future, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. I was really floored by how effective it was, because I had eventually found my real passion, something that I live for. I wanted to make people smile and help them out. We live in a community where solidarity needs to be spread. So everyone deserves a second chance, and we need to help people out. Thank you.
How good was that? Now it's up to the next speaker, Ayoub, who's going to talk to us all about social media. Please, Ayoub, come join us.
All right, so you all know what that is. It's a phone, right? So what are the first things that you have in mind when you first see it? Are Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, etc. It's social media. So why the reason that you have in mind these things? Due to addiction. So before talking about addiction, let's get a step back into the history. So everything's began in the 1980s and 90s, when the internet's growth enabled the introduction of online communication services like Prodigy, CompuServe, America Online. They introduced users to digital communication through email, digital board, messaging, and real-time online chatting. So, hence, this gave rise to the earliest social media networks, beginning with the short-lived 6 Degrees profile uploading in 1997. Then the service was followed by Friendster in 2001. Like, these rudimentary services attracted millions of users and enabled email registration and basic online networking. So let's move to addiction. The first thing that you do when you woke up is checking your notifications. The first thing you do after school or work or something is scrolling down and up on your phone. So this is the FOMO, or the fear of missing out. And it's one of the human traits driving how social media works. So, second thing, when you can share wherever you want, like any post you want, share anything you want. So this is the control that social media grants you to become obsessed. So finally, it's just a trick. So being infatuated with something isn't that bad, but when it becomes excessive, it can conduct to like dangerous consequences. So for that, I'm going to introduce some ways to avoid these dangerous consequences. Like the first thing, delete the apps that you don't need. Like most of us don't need Twitter, but just don't have it in their phones. Turn off your notifications while you're working or you're in school or you're studying, doing homeworks, in order to be more concentrated. Second thing is like try to pick up a new hobby to decrease the daily amount of using your phone. So in conclusion, despite social media aren't that old, but most of people are obsessed with it worldwide. So that's because it grows fastly. So there is a lot of dangerous consequences, but we can't deny the human responsibilities about these consequences. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayoub. Now, move on to Zainab Sidi Hida, who will talk about beauty.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing good. So today I really want to share with you guys a topic that I personally find interesting, which is the beauty is not always in the eyes of the beholder. Now, as we all know, like beauty, we don't judge people just from their appearance. Like we all agree on that, right? Yeah. And I'm 100% sure that none of us judge people or believe them just from their appearance. After all, not all that glitters is gold. So, what I'm going to say right now, some of you would agree with it, and some of you would not. But for me, beauty is not something that only pleases the eyes, but also it pleases the other senses and the mind. It's like something that makes you see beyond the outward appearance. Like, for example, when we talk about beauty in people, we often, like, why not always refer to physical attractiveness? Yeah, I agree. Beautiful and handsome faces are pleasant to look at. But come on, like, when the most memorable, beautiful people are the ones who have that captivating personality behind their pretty faces. Moving on to the kind of beauty that attracts the most population around the world, which is no other than the inner beauty. Lucky are the ones who have it, because believe me, once you achieve it, you have attained the inner peace. Two unknown personalities who exemplify this, which are Nelson Mandela and Mother Teresa. For Nelson Mandela, he was willing to sacrifice his life and freedom to obtain equal rights for black people in South Africa. As for Mother Teresa's mission was to help the poorest of the world's poor. On another hand, there is the beauty of art. Like, aside from the famous painting that everyone like and enjoy, there are some people who would enjoy and like the paintings of untrained artists. As a girl once said, when I'm gazing at a painting, I'm trying to look at it from the artist's point of view, as it might give me a glimpse of his surrounding, why not his life? Like, furthermore, for places, there's nothing comparable to the sea. It may take different colors, calm at times, choppy at others, but it's like a timeless beauty that you could never get tired of. What I want to make clear for you guys is each one of us has an idea of beauty, which all of us must respect and accept. And each one of us should have a beautiful thing in their everyday life, either things, places, people, whatever you want. As a poet once said, "I think of beauty as a joy forever." Thank you.
We sure did learn a lot from your speech about inner beauty. Thank you. Now it's up to Hadi Hashimi, who's going to talk to us about success and how to overcome failure. Please welcome.
Hello, everybody. So you might heard of Jack May or Mayon. Well, he's a popular businessman known as the first one who owned an online market. That's what we know about this man. But what we don't know is that this man got rejected from work 30 times. He went to the police. They said, "You're not good enough." He went to KFC restaurant when it first opened in China. 24 people applied for the job. 23 people got accepted. and he was the only one who got rejected. Well, by the way, Instagram is the biggest lie I ever saw in my life. You may ask for the reason. She's a teenager, she must enjoy it. No. Because we don't share our failure or our weaknesses. We're just sharing our success or just a fake one. I have been playing chess for 6 years, since 2015. In my first year of training, just after 6 months, my teacher, my coach, took me to a national competition. I came with a 2 out of 7. And it was the same result in all the others. And in each competition, I cried. Not because I didn't get more points, just because I worked hard, but no result. It took me 6 years to understand that it wasn't my passion. And now I'm saying, work hard in what you feel is right for you. Don't waste your time. Don't be afraid of making mistakes because you will make tons of them, but you should learn from them. My dad once said, nothing is easy. If you didn't work hard, you will never make it. Maybe it will be difficult, maybe it will hard, but it deserves. Remember, failure is mother of success. There is no success without failure. Thank you.
Now, please welcome Kenza Ghannan, who has a message to all the girls all over the world. Please welcome Kenza.
So, hi. My message, this is some sort of a message to girls all over the world. Let me introduce myself first. I am a 15-year-old who lives in a world that truly isn't as progressive as you would like to believe it is. Yes, it is getting better, but it's not exactly what we want it to be. We still have to face inequalities all over the world, and it's not fair. This world is still filled with people that couldn't care less about our condition and everything we have to face on a daily basis. And that is not okay, and it has to change. I refuse to let little girls grow up in a world that doesn't appreciate them to their right value and buries their worth. I refuse to let little girls grow up in families that force them into molds and that push them to become pristine and nice and sweet little ladies because that's just how girls are supposed to be. I refuse to let girls grow up in a world that buries their potential and doesn't allow them to express themselves, to do as they please, with their futures, to talk however they want to, because it's not okay, and because they're girls, and because they're not supposed to talk out about stuff like that. I refuse to let my grandchildren and my children grow up in a world that doesn't allow them and allow their potential to bloom into beautiful things. It's not okay. It has to change. Is it too much to ask for a little bit of respect? Am I asking too much when I'm telling you that I want to live my life the way I want to? Is it too much of me to ask you to leave me alone? It's my life. I can do whatever I want with it. I want every girl around the world to know that it's okay for her to do as she pleases with her life. It's okay for her to follow the career path she wants. She doesn't have to rely on a man on her life. The only choice for her isn't to marry and to have children. She can do whatever she wants with her life, and nobody can judge her for it. I want girls to know that it's okay for them to dress however they want, to put on however much makeup they want, to go wherever they want, and they have to feel safe. They don't have to fear for their safety, because that's just not okay. Is it too much to ask for a little bit of respect? How dare you infiltrate yourself into my body? How dare you make up policies about what I can and what I can't do? How dare you judge me over my life choices? How dare you tell me what my future is going to be? How dare you tell me what I can and what I can't say? That's not okay. It has to change. This men-centric mentality that we have installed has to be abolished. So here's my message to girls all over the world. Be yourselves, fearlessly. Don't fear anybody. Let yourself bloom into a beautiful soul. Do whatever you want with your life. Don't let anybody or anything turn you into something you aren't. Don't let anybody force you to become someone you don't want to be. Let yourself do as you please. Love whoever you want to love. Wear whatever you want to wear. Say whatever you want to wear. Say whatever you want to say, I'm sorry. And if people don't like it, then they can sue you for it.
It has been such a pleasure to receive your message, and I'm sure all the girls here appreciated it, Kinza. Now it's the turn of Khadija Al-Alawi, who will talk about the influence of the American culture on our societies. Please give a round of applause to Khadija Al-Alawi.
So everyone here comes on stage and start talking about their passion. Well, I'm here to talk about something really different. First, our guests have traveled many countries around the world. She has seen many cultures. So how about we start with identifying the term culture. As you all might know, the term culture is the term used to identify the amount of knowledge, language, religion, social habits, music and arts of a certain group of people in a certain area. And I'm sure all of you must have heard with the term globalization, which has become very popular in the recent years. Well, actually, on contrary of popular beliefs, globalization is the term used to identify the speed up of movements and exchange between countries of human beings, capital, technology, cultures, and so on. It gives us access to new markets, new cultures, new talents. It spreads technology and innovation. In theory, the globalization is the best way to achieve economical and social growth in a country. Today we are going to focus on what we call cultural homogenization, which is one of the main characteristics of modern globalization. It refers to the reduction in cultural diversity through the popularization of a wide array in cultural symbols. Things like movies, songs, catchy phrases like let's do it, I'm loving it, and so on. Within the last 100 years, it has become more clear that one civilization in particular, and one culture, became more and more dominant over all its counterparts around the world, which is, of course, the American culture. Since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 and the spread and the start of widespread internet technology in the mid-2000s, the influence of the US has become more and more strong by the years. It has become inevitable that it impacted every society and every culture and every country, wherever they were, and no matter how different they might be, no matter how different the language or how far the country might be. It has become more and more clear that it is undeniably strong. To influence a country this much is to quite literally replace its culture with a more American one. We became more and more quote-unquote American. But the question here remains, is globalization just a small code word for the word Americanization? And will the world only know one culture, one unified culture by the end of the 21st century? That is for you to decide.
Now, please welcome our wonderful Amin Al-Bubkrawi, who will talk about the art of makeup.
Hi. You guys are much more than I have expected. Okay, You know what I see today, like right now at this moment? I see beautiful faces, literally beautiful faces. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to speak about a subject that quite a lot of people would think that it's absurd. But trust me, it's not absurd. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking about makeup. Yes, makeup, you heard me well, makeup. If you don't put on makeup, you know somebody who does. It might be your mom, your sister, your brother, or even your grandpa. Jokes aside, that was a lame one. Okay, jokes aside, but makeup is not only for women. Makeup has no gender, in fact, because some males use makeup. But this is a quite interesting subject that I hope we'll have a chance to speak about later. Anyways, makeup. If we give a bare definition for makeup, it will be cosmetics. Products that we use to look more presentable or to enhance our beauty. But all of us know the real reasons why we put on makeup, don't we, ladies? Or boys, I don't know. The real reasons why we put on makeups to cover up our natural details, also called imperfections. I don't like to call them imperfections because they are things that I quite like to see. You know, imperfections are considered acne scars, pimples, scars, also dark circles, and blemishes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, these details were erased from our daily skins because notice how when you log into your apps, Instagram, Twitter, and whatever, you see those models, those Instagram influencers, like Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian, Hailey Bieber, or whatever. They all have pink cheeks, lovely cheekbones, beautiful shiny hair, also plump lips, but you actually don't have to worry about looking like them because all of their pictures are edited. And yes, you know, if you're a girl, you're most likely to hear such stuff like, girl, haven't you slept in the last like 3 days because your eye circles have been literally showing up until your cheeks? Like, put on some concealer, or you look so pale. Put on some blush, or cover up your acne scars. Oh my God, I can't see that. You know, I think that's so bad because, you know, people become very insecure because all sorts of insecurity is us. It all comes from us. We are the ones imposing on people to look how we want them to look. We want them to look like everyone on our screens. We want them to look perfect. We want them to have flawless lips, flawless skin, flawless hair, like perfect. But ladies and gentlemen, we don't accept them for who they are. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, this is very bad. I think this is very ugly because all source of people's insecurities is us. Yes, us, and I am not ashamed to say that because we all, one time in our lives, have said that to someone. You know, in Japan, there's an art called kimejisu. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the art is all about when, like, a piece of glass or a piece of pottery, pardon me, a piece of pottery falls, it breaks, right? So when it breaks, they collect it with gold to create a more beautiful piece of art. And I think that that is beautiful, to create a more beautiful piece of art because it has a scar, like a scar, we can say that it's a scar, because it was broken into a lot of people's pieces, pardon me again. It was collected to a lot of pieces that were broken. That vase has survived something. It has survived a crush, a breakage, and it has scars. So the same goes to us, to people. We all have scars. I have some on my knees, but you can't see them because I'm wearing jeans. I have some on my face, I'm not covering them because they healed. I also have some on my hands. And you know, to show all of these things, to show scars and acne and everything, I think that's brave. Literally, I think that it's really brave. You know, ladies and gentlemen, recognize what I'm wearing here? What is this? Literally, what is this? Yes, what color is this lipstick? Red lipstick, a classic. Yes, we know. This lipstick, does it define how beautiful I am? Does it say if I'm pretty or not? Am I pretty? Thank you. But yes, if you think that this defines how pretty I am, or if I'm pretty or not, then I simply don't need it. Thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, or whoever listens or whoever's concerned, if you think that makeup makes you pretty, yes, you can put on, but it doesn't make you prettier. Thank you.
That was a really nice speech, and yes, Amina, you are indeed beautiful, and all of you are. Our next speaker is Besma Boufous, and she will talk about passion and how she lost a passion that she had.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I hope you're all doing well, by the way. Passion. Isn't it a fascinating word? And so as my critical point, since I feel recently that I have no passion. And this has been consuming me for the past weeks. I was feeling so ashamed and empty of the fact that I could maybe be a boring person, an uninteresting person. You know, that kind of person when she's asked at a party or an event, for example, what is you passionate about? She's just like staring, confused, doesn't know what to respond. And maybe this is the situation. I remember that one last time when the teacher told us that everyone has a passion. And that if you don't have one, you must have one. Actually, I do agree with the teacher, because I had a passion. I was passionate about piano. Unfortunately, I don't feel the same anymore, and I feel like this passion faded by time. And this is because of many factors that contribute in it. Anyways, I went to the conservatory for almost 4 years by now. I could have handled it at first years, but for almost 1 year by now, I was starting feeling pressure. And I can't work under pressure, so I've decided to take a break, and I didn't go to the conservatory for this year. However, my love for the piano is still here, because love is untouchable, which brings me to my next point. Guys, passions change, because we simply humans change. We can't be the same for a lifetime. Our passions change. Let's take, for example, children. What's a child feature? Yes, creativity, but there's also curiosity. A child is too curious, and when a child is curious, he's asking questions. When he's asking questions, he's waiting to get answers, and there is at that moment when his interest starts. When children are getting interested about things, this is what we call passion, actually. Passion is actually when you're passionately curious about things. If you want a passion to figure out into your life, you don't have to stay hand-crossed. Instead, you have to fill your time with new hobbies, new things, new activities, so you can find out where do you actually belong. And what I did realize recently that everyone has a passion, and that passions are already there, and that passions, you don't get to choose them because they pick you. You just have to be alert to them, and you have to be looking for them. And once you find out what is your passion is, it's a fantastic gift for you because it gives you purpose and it gives you direction. And always remember that you do not follow the passion follows you. Thank you.
This is how I could follow my passion. And remember that your passion is something there on you. If you don't discover it today, then you're going to discover it one day. A quote from our next speaker, from the speech of our next speaker. Please make some noise to Hajar Shravi Qadud.
Have you ever told your mom or dad that you want to be like a singer, a dancer, you want to study in a special school, have an experience, etc.? Then the answer was no, 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 and completely no. Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you guys. So this was my parents' reaction when I told them that I want to be an extra inventor and so follow my studies abroad. I was really sad and I forgot about the idea for a while. But however, I was always this little curious girl that loves asking. Like when everybody was focusing with the dentist and how was he dealing with my teeth, because you know I had a really serious problem with it. And me, I was just looking at his machine and I told him with this accent because he was dealing with my teeth, so I can't speak fluently. Wow, nice machine, doctor. I love it. How does it work and how can it fix my teeth? And then, you know, when everybody's looking like, at you like, oh my God, here we go again. She's asking. And after we came back home, they told me, stop your childish acts for a zillion times. But me, I just didn't stop. And one day, I could make my own diagram about my first invention. I can't tell you my feeling in this time, but what I can say is that I was really proud. Why proud? So it is like when you're disturbing the teacher in the class, and then he tells you, we're gonna see how much you're gonna get in the next exam, and you got 20 out of 20, and the teacher tells you, congratulations, my dear, I knew that you can do it. Yes, this was my first impression. But when I told my family about the invention, they told me, yes, we know this invention. They have already done it in France. You can't imagine how I was really sad and disappointed. And I even thought if France stole my idea or if my parents were just lying. And I was overthinking to finally call my friend that supports me and helps me and encourages me to do my best. So all what I needed was encourage, which is the key of my second passion. I really suffered to be able to follow my first passion. And this is why I want to make it easier for any teenager, anyone who has many dreams, but thinks he can't achieve them because of many struggles. I love when life is simple. This is about my passions. Let's move to something which is more interesting. If I'm here, it is just to remind you, parents, that you must be interested in your children's or teenagers' ideas and passions. And also, don't try to convince them to do a job or something because you're convinced that it is the best for them. Nothing is as suitable for them as their passion. And you guys, don't wait for someone to come and tell you, wow, the first time when I saw you, or like, I see on your eyes a really brilliant doctor or dentist, you're born to be an architect, or something like that. This is irrelevant. And you should always know that your passion is something there on you. And if you don't realize it, actually, you shouldn't say that I don't have a passion. If you don't discover it today, you're going to discover it one day. And parents, I'm talking to you parents, if there is someone to support these big minds, it is you, and principally you. And finally, genius people, don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big. And believe me, you can do it. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce Fatem Zramufti, who's going to talk about some environmental issues.
Hello everyone. What I'm gonna talk about today is something that I'm sure all of you have already heard of. Environmental issues. They're just two words, but they hold this huge weight over our world. Especially in these last few years, the environment took a huge attack, mainly because of industrial environment. But also, we humans tend to forget that we too had a hand in this retrogradation of our environment. We humans, being the ignorant creatures we are, left our natural resources until they reached the brink of extinction. Signs of oil running out started early in 15 years ago, but still renewable resources are still not attained in over 100 countries. Signs of humans' influence on the climate started. Research say that they started in the late 90s, but newer researchers say that they started in 1813, meaning we had over 150 years to find the solution. But still, here we are. 4 years ago, 197 countries came together in Paris and made an agreement to try and limit the temperature increase by 1.5 degrees Celsius. The thing that failed. As we see that the temperature increase reached 1.1, and they said to reach 2 degrees Celsius in the next 70 years. The thing that failed. Stats show that thing that failed. This failure means that countries are either falling flat on reaching their goals or either just ignoring them. Which brings me back to my main point. We humans are ignorant toward our home, our interest, and our environment. So, newsflash, our Earth is dying, and we are still not finding a solution. Countries that are aware of the seriousness of this situation are already working toward finding new energy resources such as solar power, water hydraulics, and such. But are there any hope? The road to change is still a long one, and actually the leading countries are not being a good example. Which brings me to my second point. Do we need always wait on major countries to initiate the change? Why not be the changer for once? Ever thought that maybe change could start from you? After all, the environment issue is your fault, our fault, and so finding a solution is our responsibility. So, ever thought that maybe you can start from a smaller idea? Share it, take everyone's thoughts on it, develop it, and go public with it. It may not be as successful as others, but nevertheless, you're being part of the change. And that's the important thing, because change starts from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatem Zara, for sharing all those interesting ideas. Now it's to the next speaker, Sumaya. Please give her a round of applause.
So, hi everyone. You know, when you try or choose to learn a new language on your own, unrelated to school or anybody telling you to do so, just for your own fun reasons relating to something you love maybe, trust me when I say that the experience is vastly different. In language learning, excitement is what drives you. It's what keeps you going. So when it's not there, your attention is on assignments, tests, grades, and homework. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that when you're obligated to learn a language at school. It certainly has its good moments. You're sometimes having fun, and there are plenty of success stories coming out of it. However, I think that more people have bad experiences with it. And with bad experiences comes terrible results, such as hating languages and anything related to learning them. For example, when I talk to my friends who have had bad experiences while learning languages at school, they just tell me they think they suck at languages or ultimately hate them. And it's hard to convince them otherwise. It's hard to tell them or show them what a fantastic word they're missing out on. And by saying this, I'm by no means degrading the methods school used to teach us languages. Nor am I saying that when you learn a language on your own will, it's going to be easier or quicker. Nevertheless, I think that it has way much more potential to bring you joy and even happiness. So by now, you may or may not realize that my passion is basically learning many languages as I can. So aside from French, English, and Arabic, I grew to love a certain language, which is Japanese. So I am a huge anime fan and a regular manga reader. And it's been 3 to 4 years maybe, and while watching all those episodes from those various animes, I came to realize, oh wait, I kind of like this language just by hearing it. So I decided this year during quarantine, as most of you, I had nothing to do and had way too much free time. So why not give it a shot? I have nothing to lose anyway. So I started learning it, and day by day, what was once just meant to be an activity to fill my timetable became a passion that I cultivated huge interest and desire for. During those first days when I started learning it, the feeling I got whenever I managed to write a character or just form a very, very basic sentence was truly indescribable. I just had the sense of achievement, and as if I wrote a whole novel. It may seem exaggerated, but it was truly what I felt. So basically in language learning, it's a roller coaster of emotions. You're excited, it's frustrating, sometimes you feel you're not making any progress at all, so it's very easy to give up and just let go of it. But just take it easy. And trust me that the feeling you get when you achieve a goal that you have been working so hard on is truly great. And as the Italian film director said, a different language is a different vision of life. Thank you.
Now please welcome one of our best public speakers, Noor, who will talk about how to know our purpose in life.
Hi everyone. Well, I will just start with a question. What's a passion? I've actually never thought about it. I've never tried to figure out what's my own passion. It's a very difficult question to answer, don't you think so? Well, let me tell you something. Finding a passion is hard, of course, but I try to make life my own passion. It's hard, but I could do it. I try to make life my own passion because we are all living each day trying to give our best in order to achieve something. Maybe happiness, maybe health, maybe wealth, but whatever it is, you're all living in order to achieve something. Even if you're not aware, you are living in order to achieve something. In order to achieve something. It might not always feel that way, but we are all winners of the biggest lottery ever. Just think about it a little bit. Have you ever asked yourself this question? What's the purpose of life? Can someone tell me if they've ever asked this question? Well, let me tell you that it's perfectly normal to not know how to answer this, because there is no single right answer. It would be more accurate to say that there are right answers, because whatever you thought about, that's the right answer, the one that you create for yourself. Let me just tell you something. Life is not something that you can control. Of course, you come across choices you have to make, decisions you have to take, but there's a result. And that result is why you're going through whatever you are going through. So just live your life. Some people have said that they have lost their purpose in life, and I've actually thought about that quite a lot. But I'm still trying to get rid of that mindset because it was really hard for me. So if you don't have a purpose, create one. You have to create one. So I decided to do something. I will just live in order to exist. I know it sounds stupid or weird, but it's true. Let's make our first purpose in life existing. We all get busy in life, don't we? And we can all agree that it's tiring. It's very, very tiring. But the hardships that you are going through are only temporary. And you should know that life goes on and everything's go on. So when you feel sad, comfort yourself. When you feel proud, congratulate yourself. It might seem lonely, but please do it. It will help you erase some of your loneliness and remove that sorrow that we all feel, and it's deeply engraved in our souls. We should get rid of that. As Mae West once said, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. So take this chance, because you only have one. I know, it's easier said than done, of course. It's easier said than done. A lot of things are easier said than done. But whatever you are passionate about, now or in the future, don't be ashamed of it. Because if it matters to you, that's all that should matter. Thank you.
Now please welcome our last public speaker, Munira, who will talk about solidarity.
Hello everyone, I'm like to apologize for every mistake I'm going to do, because I didn't prepare this before. I just wanted to talk about the campaign Solidarity organized by the school and wanted to invite you all to join, because donating small things would help. Small things help. Just donate. Whether small things, much, less, anything could help. People are in need. Just imagine you giving a pillow, a small one, and someone is putting his head over it and saying, oh my God, thanks to that person, he gave me a pillow and now I'm using it. So I just wanted to invite you all to donate, no matters what, just give something, help. Anything could help, give a helping hand. And again, small things could help everyone, could draw a smile on someone's face. Imagine you're being the cause of someone smiling and thanking you while you're not there. That's all, thank you. And again, small thing, I'm not really waiting for you to applaud from me. I'm just waiting for you to donate. Just donate, and please don't applaud for this, just donate.
Now that our event is coming to an end, I'd like to thank you all for coming and to thank all of those who participated and made it such a success. I'd like to thank the interviewers, the speakers, everyone who performed. You all are just wonderful, and you truly made our evening very fun. So yeah, I'd just like to thank you all for coming and attending.
And now I am pleased and thrilled to invite our dear director, Mr. Elaraki.
I'm just not gonna go on stage. I prefer to speak right from the floor in here. Honestly, I'm thrilled. I'm proud of what you all have done today, and thank you, Sid Suhaili. Really, really thankful for what you have done with the students. Thank you, Madam Labiad. I was really impressed by your speech and by your all you have done, all those countries you have traveled to. And honestly, I mean, I got invited to attend your evening today, and I was going to stop just to have a look at it, see what it was about. I mean, we have always wanted to have a kind of TEDx, TED Talks at school, but we see that it's happening today in the form of a TED Ed, which is great because this is the appropriate format, I would say, for schools. And I got hooked. I mean, I just wanted to stay for 5 minutes and I just couldn't leave. I mean, and today honestly, I've learned so much from you, and I've seen you under a different angle, speaking freely and passionately about what you really believe in, and it's just great. I mean, and I cannot be prouder than I have been today. Honestly, congratulations and keep up the good work. It always pays off. And follow your dreams and your passions, because this is what life is about. And I see that there is a lot of energy, way much more girls than boys. Doesn't matter. It's even better, you know, because when you teach and where a woman is cultivated, it's like you are cultivating a whole nation, right? So keep up the good work and keep doing what you are passionate about. Congratulations, congratulations, really.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me in here. This was such a pleasure. Thank you for the TED leader and the director. Thank you for every student who came up here and lent us an ear to listen to everybody talking about their passions, about other subjects in general. And I really was enjoying everybody talking. Some students were better than others, and we all start from zero. We all can get out there, and I will just encourage you to practice more and more about public speaking. If you enjoy it, you should do it, and I really want you to, well, follow your passions and do what you're loving. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Hello again. How are you? Yeah. Now, how do you feel after, well, listening to these amazing TED speakers? Very good? Oh, come on, just say a few words. Your feedback? I can't hear you. Okay. So for most of you, this was the first time, I'm sure. And I'm sure that you're hooked. And now you feel that this is home. This is where you're supposed to be. The TED stage is the right place for you. Now, we said before that there is a TED weekend, but before that, there is another challenge. At the end of the year, you're all invited to something big, something more than the TED Ed, which is the TEDx, okay? We're preparing for this. This was indeed an informal event, but nonetheless, this doesn't mean that it's not important. I'm sure that it was a milestone for most of you. I'm sure that this gave you a taste of that juicy feeling that you're going to feel once on the TEDx stage or any other stage. It could be the NYC stage, the Red Big Circle, right? Wherever you go. This experience is going to help you. And this is just the first of many more to come, okay? We're going to have one each month. This is just a gathering, okay? We just want to see each other. We just want to have fun, connect. Because it's COVID-19 and all, it's really hard, okay? We want to listen to you. We want to learn from you. And we did. We learned a big deal from you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the energy, for the motivation, for everything.